If you're watching this video, chances are you've been finding difficult to stay consistent on social media, especially when you're balancing everything else as an independent artist. And I completely relate to that. As a music creator myself, when life gets busy, showing up and sharing your creative process can feel a lot, to be honest, of course. But I've come to realize one important thing, which is this. I believe that staying consistent on social media doesn't mean being perfect. It means finding a rhythm that works for you without burning out. So that's why I decided to create this part 2 video series on this very important topic. So I'm breaking down 5 simple, low-pressure ways to stay consistent and visible on social media without burning out, without stressing out yourself, because that's what you and I don't want, and in a way that fits your creative flow. So now, are you ready? Let's jump right into it. One of the biggest things that trips me up, and still does sometimes, to be honest, is overthinking. I used to get overwhelmed by things like plan, shoot, edit, and post, all while trying to make it look effortless. But I've got a big problem, to be honest, and the problem was this. I didn't stick to a content format that worked for me. But once I found a couple of formats I could enjoy, but most importantly, I could repeat, everything got a little bit easier. For example, the formats I'm actually using now are 2. Static posts, like word image carousels, and quick reels, where the visual is simple and the real message lives in the caption. Now listen, what I want to tell you is this. Find a format, or a couple of formats, I would say, that fits your energy and schedule, and run with it. Repeating a structure is one of the most powerful tools you have to simplify content creation, all while staying consistent and enjoying the process. One of the beautiful aspects of talking to an artist, in my opinion, is about inspirations. As a podcast host, I love this topic. It is a topic I always love learning about, as there's always a connection, I believe, between past, present, and future. And that's also something I remind you to keep doing. If you ever shared what inspired your latest release, don't stop there. Turn it into a short content series. Say you talked about one of the artists who influenced your latest album. Why not follow up with a 3-part content series diving into the others who shaped your sound? It's a great way to keep things flowing without constantly brainstorming new ideas, which can take time, as you know, and not to mention the fact that it gives fans more context and, most importantly, more reasons, which is another important aspect, to stay engaged with your work. In 2023, I launched a talk series event called Music Travel Guide Talk Series in Berlin, where I would invite talented and gifted artists, musicians, and fantastic music enthusiasts too, from the local scene, to discuss and explore various topics within the realm of the evolution of Black music. And I leaned on Instagram, specifically on Instagram stories, to spread the word, promoting the event. But at first, I would struggle with what to say, just beyond, the basic event details. Then my partner gave me the best advice. Talk about why you're doing it. You have a lot to say. I can say that shift helped me connect more with the heart of the project, with the heart of the Music Travel Guide Talk series. And suddenly, more ideas started to come up, started to flow in some way. Now, here's a simple trick you can try applying this into your own content creation process. You can grab a notebook or your notes app and break it into 3 sections. What you're learning, what's inspiring you, and what challenges you're facing. Then ask yourself, what do I want people to know about my music or this release right now? Now, don't overthink. Jot down everything that comes to mind straight away. And trust me, you will be amazed at how this simple but yet powerful exercise connects more with your journey than the fact of promoting your music while staying consistent without scrambling for inspiration. I believe that you don't need to pressure yourself to always be on and constantly show up online. And I also believe that being consistent on social media doesn't mean showing up every single day. I often considered switching to a weekly newsletter many times, to be honest, but I realized that it wasn't the right fit for me. At least not right now. I'm still finding my own rhythm with monthly emails, and that's okay. And the same goes for my Instagram online presence and for the Music Travel Guide podcast. I aim to post between 2 and 3 posts on my feed while showing up consistently on stories, sharing a few written or video talking frames each day. So now, whenever I can say that I overthink my online presence again, so this topic of overthinking, I stop and ask myself this very simple but yet powerful question to me, which is this: how can I make this more fun? And almost every time I come back to this, which I like to see it as a statement: Michael, don't make it huge. So the takeaway here is this: set tiny but exciting goals. Keep things small. That's how I believe you build a system that it's real and sustainable over time by staying consistent and enjoying in the process. I talk a lot about what it feels like to show up on social media nowadays. And one of the frustrations that always comes up is the difficulty of not reaching as many people as you would hope. And the same goes for me, to be honest, of course, especially with how algorithms work nowadays. One of the questions I always ask independent artists and musicians when having conversations with them is this: all right, why are you doing this? Why are you posting in the first place? I believe that when you reconnect to your purpose, you're not just showing up, you're showing up with clarity, you're staying present, you're staying true. And when you also start asking yourself questions like, what do I care about? What do I believe in? What do I stand for? This is another very powerful question you can ask yourself. That's when consistency starts to feel a little bit more natural, not forced, all without losing yourself. All right, so that's pretty much it for today's video. This was part 2 of a video series dedicated to how to stay consistent on social media without stressing out yourself, without burning out, getting inspiration from my own learnings and lessons. I do really hope you enjoyed the video, and most importantly, you got some amazing takeaways you can immediately apply into your own online presence, sharing your work as an independent artist. And now I'm very curious to understand, to learn also from you. What's your biggest challenge when it comes to being consistent while sharing your artistry on social media and promoting your music? I would really love to know your experience and thoughts around it. So let me know in the comment section below. I'm very happy to hear you and to also share a little bit more of my experience as well. And to also, most importantly, hear your perspectives on the things that I shared in today's video. And speaking of, if you want to dive a bit more into this, here you can watch the part 1 of the video series on this topic. Now, that's pretty much it for today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for taking the time. I value your time, and I'll see you in the next video here on the Music Travel Guide channel with me, Michael Piardi.